Welcome back to Red Narrative. It's okay to be curious. Like and share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop your comments. Guys, so the Olympics, it came, it went, it's done, it's dusted. Jamaica left picking up the pieces. Welcome to Red Narrative, guys. For anybody coming in, anybody stopping by, welcome to you. Welcome one, welcome all. Still trying to keep up with the consistency. Missed out yesterday, but every one cocoa, full basket, every little make a muckle. Yeah, so the Jamaica team no longer participating in the Olympics. Olympics is over. But first, want to do a little bit of a postmortem on the Olympics. How do you guys rate the Olympics? How do I rate the Olympics on a scale of 1 to 10? I think for Jamaica, it was a 50-50 Olympics. It was half good, half bad. A lot of growth for the athletes, a lot of new athletes. So the experience is welcome. I think the experience for the athletes is exactly what they needed. Whether they had a very good Olympics or a bad Olympics, they had experience that will bring them into the future. They will also learn that everything will not be going the way that we like. We saw years of experience, years of good experience for Jamaica. From since 2004 all the way back, very good experience for Jamaica, and that would have contributed to the positive perspective from all the athletes going into the Olympics. But if you should rate this Olympics on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? My rating would be a 5. It's a 50-50 rating. Very good experience for the athletes. The negatives, it does build character. Usually failures, it's just like one cocoa full basket, every mickle make a muckle. You fail your way to success. These athletes, they will have a reason to go forward and do better going forward. J-Pong, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Big up yourself as well. Yes, want to do a little postmortem on this Olympics because I know that a lot of people would have had some disappointing perspective, but I do believe that it builds character when you go through failure. You fail your way to success. Every mickle make a muckle. So these athletes, you can see the disappointment. I'm happy that they were crying, showing the passion. They didn't just lose and walk away as if nothing happened. They felt it. They know the burden that they are carrying as ambassadors for Jamaica. So the rating that I give to this Olympics is it's a 5 out of 10. It's on a scale of 1 to 10. It's 5. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel? I know that the wider public, we're still just taking it in. It's still becoming a reality. And for some of us, it's probably the first time we have paid as much attention to our Olympics. It's the age of social media. You have real-time updates all the time everywhere. So this probably is the first time we had an opportunity to see what it really looked like. I have another question here. Do you think the athletes use social media to contribute positively or negatively to their Olympic experience? That's a very loaded question to some extent, but I believe that social media is the future. If you think about any form of technology, social media is the forefront of all technology. So would you say the athletes contributed negatively or positively? Michelle Dyer, big up yourself. Welcome to the live. How are you doing? So I'm wondering, do you guys think it contributed negatively or positively? From my perspective, social media is here to stay. It will be here the next Olympics, the next World Championship, the Diamond Leagues. It will be here forever. And technology will be increasing. It will be improving. Over the years, you'll find technology becoming more and more involved in every single thing you do. We see that children, they're not even comfortable with one device anymore. They need two. It's a part of who we are. It's time that we adapt. So where Coach Stephen Francis alluded to decision that is pending in his mind, that he would ban social media in his camp during track season. I believe that there are ways that the athletes could use social media to improve their social status. And if you're a social light, for example, the higher your social status, the more you could earn from social media. An athlete who is already out there, if they become a bigger brand on social media, then they will be able to earn from it, especially with the lack of money distributed to the athletes. I do believe that these athletes had a positive Olympics due to social media. They recorded a lot of what they saw, and they could have gone back, watch it. They could share it with their family and friends, and even reach out to their family real time, reach out to friends real time. So it contributed positively. Negatively, it really comes back to the saying: you if you let water in your boat, that's the only way your boat will sink. The boat is underwater for years, for days, always underwater. But don't let water come in. So if the athletes would have let negative emotions come into them, if they have negative information coming into them, if they get their flaws highlighted at the wrong time, then it could be negative for them. They are Banta. They are Banito. Welcome to live. Appreciate your comment. Yes, touching on a few of these things, like literally just doing a postmortem. I do believe that it had a 50-50 impact on the athletes as well. It might have been a new experience, therefore they don't know how to handle it, and as a result, the athletes would have. We saw what the result was. If you rate the Olympics, I rate the Olympics 50-50. It's a good and a bad experience for the athletes. If you rate the use of social media 50-50, they would just need to be more effective with the use of social media. It's also good and bad in my perspective. Michelle Dyer say, I think while at the Olympics they should have been on social media less. However, the more serious factor contributing to them not performing, and it seems like a top secret. That's true. So social media may not be the reason why they didn't contribute. They did not perform the way that they were expected to perform. I also think that they had good history, a very good history of performing at the Olympics. But we also need to remember that they are not the ones at the Olympics right now. They're not the ones who performed at that very high level over the years. And the Jamaica color is still the same color that was performing. So we went into the Olympics with a celebrity status, just being Jamaicans and coming off of we're coming off of the popularity and the fame of the stars that went to the Olympics before them. Not saying that the athletes are not talented, but I do believe that they were not as prepared as previous athletes. I've seen where some people would be saying that we collected similar amount of medals in the past, but I do believe that the amount of athletes who had gone to this Olympics is significantly higher than in the past as well. So if you want to do a 1-to-1 ratio, it would have been a lower percentage now versus six medals would be a lower percentage of medals compared to 1992, when they would have sent maybe half the amount of people to the Olympics. So I do believe that this is a learning process for these athletes, with only 6 medals coming home, all these athletes failing based on just different things that happen. I don't believe they had the structure behind them that kept them as focused as they could have been. Now, should social media be used during track season? I saw where Michelle already spoke on that just briefly. She's saying that social media, they should have used social media less. Naomi Paul, welcome to the live. How are you doing? Happy Monday to you. I think this the weekend. I hope you had a very good weekend. So should social media be used less during the track season? It's a very touchy topic, I think, as well, because the athletes, they would be able to increase their social standing, because social media and your social standing in the world on social media is like currency at the moment. An athlete with 100,000 followers is as a higher social standing than an athlete with only 10,000 followers. It would be a good opportunity for these athletes to get their following up. Not saying that they need to be active on social media for their following to go up, because they just need to have a social media and then go out and perform at a high level. And even after that, they could come back and they could post the photos after the events, and then you'll find people still interested, still looking and trying to find out what's going on. Because again, we saw where the MVP athletes, they had a hero, or they had some mystery around them, and people were focused on their pages. They wanted to subscribe to their pages just to see the first thing that comes out. So I do believe that social media is a big part of who these athletes are and who they will become. They will always need to be using social media. During the track season, not as much. And even if they are posting the athletes, then they should also have a manager, like a media manager in the camp. Let's say, for example, MVP is there. They should have just one MVP media manager pushing the information out and bringing the information in so that they could secure these athletes and allow positivity to go into these athletes, because the negativity, not everybody have the same kind of emotional fortitude. Those people who get triggered by the smallest of things, those people will always respond with a lower energy. If as I said, if the water gets in the boat, then it sink the boat. Still want to touch on another topic. Could the overwhelming number of challenges faced by the athletes affect them emotionally or mentally? How do you guys feel about the amount of challenges that these athletes had to be faced with? They were faced with a lot. We have seen some results that weren't very favorable. Texas, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. Good morning, a gloomy Monday. While American athletes were feeding off each other with winning medals, Jamaica athletes were feeding off social media. Absolutely, I do agree with that. At the start of this, we were saying that athletes, if they started out with a good experience, if they started out, let's say, for example, the 100-meter women, which was the first event, if it started out as a winning event for Jamaica, we could have seen a ripple effect. And I think the USA athletes, they were feeding off each other. Some people said that, Jamaica best Olympics would have been 13 medals or 12 medals, but that's a lot of medals in track and field, because in this Olympics, the USA, with all the people that they brought there in the different events that they were a part of, they brought home 40 plus medals. So Jamaica bringing home as many as 10 or 12 medals is a lot, especially if those are quality medals. It chips away at the medals in the track and field. It's very important. So could the overwhelming number of challenges faced by Jamaican athletes affect them emotionally and mentally? Yes, I believe it could, and I believe it does. I believe look at the screen. I use this picture for a reason. It shows that these athletes' dreams are broken, missed opportunities. This thing come only 4 times per year, 2 times per decade. The Olympics twice per decade, every 4 years. So you miss opportunity. You may not get an opportunity again, especially if you know that you have the talent, if you know that you were built for this. So some of these athletes, emotionally, it will build them. They will know that, I did everything right and things didn't go right. So this is part of life. And then they will bring this experience into their everyday life, into their relationship with their parents. Some of this is a coming to God moment for a lot of people, because there are people who believe in perfection. And if you're a perfect person in everything you do, and when you go there, everything fall apart, it means that the world is not perfect. Therefore, that it could affect them emotionally and mentally, and it could also be a positive effect, not just negative. Naomi Paul is contributing here, saying that social media is a good platform to bring more audience for the sports. I think it should be regulated. And when I say regulated, athletes should be made aware that their behavior affects the sports. Absolutely. And I want to even touch on this a little further. They are a brand within themselves. Every athlete is literally a company, a brand within themselves. And the managers should help them to understand that if you're seen in a positive light, the more favorable light, then your brand goes up. More expensive the brand become. People will advertise through you, on you, and therefore it should be regulated. I do believe that as well. Appreciate that comment, Naomi. J Pong. The athlete has to be disciplined and don't overdo it. Make sure they get the rest they need to perform at 100%. Totally agree as well. As I said before, if water gets in the boat, then it will sink. It's just the way the system works. If you have a boat and no water gets in that boat, then the boat will stay on the water forever. It will stay on top of the water forever. Therefore, these athletes allowing negative energy to come in, they have 3 weeks That's where discipline come in. If you have 3 weeks, right, to participate in a world event that brings the relevance to the country, you're an ambassador. 3 weeks of just following some rules and bringing the best, bringing your best image to the forefront, then they should be disciplined enough to ignore the distractions. But remember that if you have to get outside influence, you just need to be mentally prepared for it, because not everybody is emotionally strong enough. If you're going to allow that kind of outside influence, then build up your emotional intelligence, so to speak. Therefore, you can, when to speak, when to act, when to, because from what Stephen Francis was saying, he think that Tia Clayton got information that, information that was just negative to her, and it dampened her spirit. But also, just knowing that it's possible, it now becomes an overwhelming amount of pressure on the athlete, knowing that you are a young athlete coming out of Jamaica, one that people do not expect to medal, and just like that, you now have the third fastest time going into that race, among others who are faster on paper and others who are more experienced. You know that, whoa, this is possible. Well, actually, the second fastest going into that race, the third fastest overall in the Olympics. It means that if you replicated what you did in previous races, you could make it to the podium, and that's a huge stage. Touch on another comment here as it comes in. Ron Clark, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment, sir. Every medal is a quality medal. Jamaica expectations were reduced because of injuries. We have to be realistic. Totally, we have to be realistic. Not just injuries. The athletes having mishaps where they were bumping into hurdles that they would have been able to clear on a regular day. There were a lot of things that went against Jamaica, and this is where I said that it's a learning curve for Jamaica. It's a 50-50 Olympics. These athletes, when they go back to another meet, they will know that technical skill will have to be on point. Also, you'd have seen the depression on some of these athletes' face. It's not just that some of these athletes were injured. Some of these athletes probably were sick with ailments, and some of them were just defeated. Because just looking at some of them, looking at the faces of some of the athletes, they didn't look happy. But listen to the voice, listen to the words of some of these athletes. They were out of it, and they were not holding back the words. Danielle Thomas Dodd, she confirmed that she did not have what she needed, and with a country like Jamaica, elite in the track and field world, with the organization holding back the necessary resources, whether it be training equipment or a training partner, it is a handicap to the athlete. It's a handicap. So while we are still being realistic, we can also talk on the points that did not affect them by some form of natural disaster. Sickness is a natural phenomenon, but with the managers creating the problems for the athletes going out there already defeated mentally, then, and some of them also felt like they were profiled. Some of them felt like they got profiled, so you never know. Naomi Paul is saying this is a social media issue, are needing to employ sports psychologists. Yes, psychologists. So I do believe that this is an important part for real. As Naomi said here, they need to employ sports psychologists. Maybe they already have some, maybe they are in play, I don't know. But one thing I do know for sure, Jamaica being the elite country that it is, the number one or the number two or number three sports powerhouse, track and field powerhouse in the world, behind the USA. And at any given time, there might be a different country that fluctuates between 2 and 3 with Jamaica. Jamaica should have had the facilities for training, the highest quality facilities for training, and the highest quality facilities for repairs and just recuperation. A lot of these athletes are putting so much pressure on their bodies. You could see an athlete running their best race, and then after that, they're out of it for a very long time, just recovering and recuperating. Jamaica need to understand, and they would have understand that the athletes are human beings, flesh, blood, cartilage, emotions, all of that. Therefore, they need to recover mentally, psychologically, physically, because a lot of these athletes put in the amount of physical pain and strain on their body, just knowing that they're doing this for the glory of a country. Not all of them can recover by themselves. They put their bodies through things. It's just like a woman giving birth. Even though it's a beautiful thing, at the end of it, it's a real strain on the body. So these athletes they need help. Welcome to the live. This is Kazri 1-on-1. Welcome to live. 20 of them had COVID. There you go. So many natural ailments there. Therefore, the athletes weren't at their best. I understand that. And this information, see, this is an example of how social media could be used to the advantage of the athletes. Now, if these athletes had a social media manager, right? Team Jamaica, it put the photos up congratulating a silver medalist, congratulating an athlete who ran for the first time. But if these athletes had a social media manager, just putting information out there saying, hey, you know what? In the camp, the athletes are struggling with this and with that, but they're giving their best effort. People would be respecting every bit of effort that these athletes are giving, because we all know that with ailment, you have to respect the pain. You have to respect. You're just a body. Nobody is more than anybody else where sickness is concerned. So that's where it would be important for us to see a social media being used in such a way that it benefits the athletes. Put the positive out there and block the negative out. Broken Whitey, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. YBU voice, and yellow Abe. I wish I could understand the code there. Number Paul, JAT needs support, needs sports psychologists and better local government body. Jamaica Olympic Association, J3, only there to chop the line. And we saw that. And I'm sure that if we, the public, are hearing this now, it might be where the athletes would have been seeing it, hearing it, and feeling it all this time. And if they're disheartened, then they would be looking to get their cut of whatever they can get and just move on. The passion goes through the door at that point. That's why when I said that the Jamaica is not hungry anymore. I'm not saying the athletes, because the newest part of the team, every single Olympics would be the athletes, the newest. The administrators could be there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. As long as they have a working brain, they could be there. But these athletes need to be young, fresh, and green. If getting to 30 years old, it's like an old person in track and field or any other sport. So these athletes are being replaced. The coaches are there. They had been there, and they will continue to be there for a while. But with the administrators seeing how the system works, knowing that when these athletes perform, their job is secured, they have no incentive to do their best anymore. They continuously feed off the success that the athletes brings. They feed from that success, and that's where it ends. They wait for the next world event to show up and show out and leave some of these athletes. And I think now, this era where we're living in right now, the people are more, I would want to say that they're not built as strong. They're not built to struggle. They don't like the struggle life like the past. They don't like the struggle life. They like posh life. They will give their best as long as they believe that it is fair and just. In the past, Jamaicans and a lot of people who grew up in maybe 40 years ago, 30 years ago, they would show some kind of credence to struggle. They would understand that this is how it comes, this is the way it is, But no, nobody's accepting struggle. They can't handle it. They want fair and just. And as a result, the athletes, they would participate according to how they are treated. But if the administrations are just taking from the sport without putting back equally, and sometimes you have to invest more than what you're taking out. If you're trying to get to another level, look at how the USA reaped their reward in this Olympics. They invested a lot. The Olympic invest the basketballers $15 million for housing. Just imagine what it costs for food and all of these other things. Snoop Dogg, $9 million for 18 days promoting Olympics. Plus expense. Right? I'm not saying Jamaica have that kind of money, but come on, think about if they invest in the athletes, invest in the infrastructure, having a place in Jamaica where these athletes can repair. Now that they're going back home, literally, if we online are talking about it in this way, I can imagine now that the athletes they won't have a lot of athletes to take photos with. They probably don't even show up for them. I'm talking about, when I say they, I'm talking about the leaders of the country who use sports, culture, and music to their advantage at Neomapal. They definitely need to have, if they don't already, absolutely, they need to have the sports psychologist for sure. Katsy, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment. Hey, they were away from home. Why aren't you considering the fact to see how the game was broadcast? Why aren't you considering the fact? All right, so I understand that as well. I understand that the games, it would have been nice for the entire fandom, the entire world to see it. The only reason why we don't see it is because we're not paying to see it, because again, track and field, every sport is a big financial driver. It's a big financial driver. It's an economic driver in every single country, in every language. Therefore, the people with the most money and the best establishment, they will be looking to profit from this every single time. As a result, they're going to force us to purchase some kind of subscription or something. That's why you're seeing a rise in watch-alongs now, where some people would be watching, commenting, and others in the comment section would be just helping to update what's going on, because the world power will not allow these things to be shown just to everybody. They won't allow it, because that's how they make the money. They want to make sure that they're profiting from it, from everybody. Just think about 10 people spending $10,000 each, right? Or 1 million people spending $2. 1 million people spending $2 is more than 10 people spending $10,000 each. So these people would prefer to have a small subscription to everybody else with small amount of money than sell expensive stuff to rich people. They would prefer to give it to rich people, because they know that these rich people can brand themselves and push it to the smaller people, because most people want the life of a rich person, you know. So this is one of the reasons why we don't get to see it, because they purchase it as the big corporation and then push it to the small people, who forcing them to purchase it, and then that's where the profit comes in. Quick sale, small profit. Naomi Paul is saying the JOAJ3 did not employ the required coaches and support staff. JOAJ3 also kept the pass to the village for themselves, denying access to coaches and family members. That's another one right there, showing the power, flexing the muscle, and the backlash that will come, which is necessary, which I think is part of the justice, the swift justice, is what we're seeing now with Daniel Thomas Dodd being 31 years old, knowing that she may or may not go back, especially with her spirit being dampened. She came out, she talked, she said what was necessary. And a lot of people would be saying that, hey, you know what, we're being too hard on the organizations. But we need to be hard on the organization. They need to force a change. You know, they need to force change. Naomi Paul is saying, we write the government of JA show up to the airport with flowers photo after the fact. They don't build and develop talent. Champs is sponsored by private sector. Correct. Issa Boys and Girls Champs. And we know that Issa is one of those extremely wealthy families out of Jamaica. And they are the ones that sponsored it. So therefore, track and field in Jamaica, the Boys and Girls Champs is a multi-million-dollar corporation as well, because it's even more restricted than the Olympics in a lot of cases to the Jamaican people. Because if one should use any of the contents, even voice content from those events, a YouTube channel or social media platform like Instagram, any one of these things, he could get it taken down, restricted, and copyright struck. Because this is a money, it's a money haul for these private sectors. So these athletes, yes, we have the passion. That's one of the reasons why you'll find a lot of people starting to compare with Jamaica and start always calling on Jamaica, because Jamaica have the passion. They have it started out from as early as high school, as early as primary school in a lot of cases. So they start to cash in, and then after they move out of Jamaica into the wider Caribbean, a bigger corporation may cash in, or if they move into the world, you'll find the NBC. NBC is always going to host these events, and they're cashing in, and it helps. It helps with the development of the sport, but it also helps the country who hosts, who owns the rights to the event, to paint the story. Jamaica could be doing excellent, and all you hear is that Jamaica won 6 medals. They don't tell you how it happened. Without social media pushing it, and without the YouTube platform, people doing the watch alongs and stuff, a lot of us would not know what exactly was going on in real time. And even though some of it was exaggerated, it was pushed out to the public. You'd have just heard that Jamaica went over there and they did poorly. That's it. So the good and the bad does come with social media. In this point, Antoinette, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Junelle is the jinx that came along with the Olympic team. Differently from the J3A and the JOA corruption. This just never feel like Jamaica at all. I'm gonna touch on Junelle. I'm gonna touch on her. That's why I kept her picture up there. Katsy, I don't blame none. No one unless I was on the trip with them. But use the discernment, and some of it was to gather, agree, yes. But what? So you're saying you don't blame anyone unless you were there, but you use your discernment and then you gather some things from it. Again, we are not there, and some of us, we are just looking at results, because it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could work for 50 years. The result of your working, what you have to show for it, is the only thing that makes sense. It's like, it's not what you earn, it's what you save. So a lot of us didn't even have to see much of anything. We just look at the result, look at the faces of the athletes. Why are they so unhappy? Why did we win a gold medal and it felt like it didn't happen? Because we don't care about certain kind of medal. It's not that I don't care, it's just that Jamaica don't celebrate it, and the media don't celebrate it either. When Jamaica is winning the coveted medals where the sprints are concerned, everybody coveted those medals. As a result, they talk about what they wish they could have had. Now that they have it, they talk about like you couldn't have it either, when we used to have it for a very long time. Those are coveted medals. So we look at the results. Just look at the result in anything you are doing in life. If you are doing something, working, and you cannot save $100 at the end of the week, it means that you literally is not working. You're just going out there and then just being a part of the status quo. You're really not working, because you probably could have done something smaller, less, and at the end of the day, you save $200. You probably would look like an idler, but you still save more. It's just really the result that I was looking at in this one. So I do understand that we could use the discernment. Something about what happened with Junelle, though, we really have to take a deeper look in that one. They need to at minimum get them sponsorship, so they can make a living, especially if they aren't in it the more recognized sport, and especially if they're not in the more recognized sport, or they themselves are not at the top of the particular sport they are a part of. That is very much correct. And I don't know if Jamaica have the pulling power. No, with Adidas trying to take over, if that's a better deal, I think Jamaica need to just break the loyalty that they have with Puma, because at some point, you have to choose the deal that helps. Again, being loyal is one thing; it's good and dandy, but being loyal to something, those administrators making the decision, they're the ones who collect the money, and the athletes suffer at the end of the day. Avia Son, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Another day, another live stream. Keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate it, man. This is me trying my best. to stay current, to make sure that I don't just start and then stop. They say consistency is key. Same thing like I'm saying about the athletes. 1-1 Coco, full basket, you fail your way to success. Absolutely. Appreciate that comment. Appreciate it a lot. And remember, guys, if you haven't touched that live like button, please do. It does help with the channel growth. As I said before, I would have touched on Junelle. Junelle, I want to say Junelle and colorism. How do you guys feel about Junelle and colorism? That's probably the best way that I could put that one. Uptown Kingston, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Big ups. I think you meant to say colorism and not racism. Well, the reason, no, I'm not saying racism. I'm saying that I don't think racism exists in Jamaica. But I want to say Junelle and colorism. Junelle and colorism, right? So Junelle, I think she responded to a post and she said that you calling me black is not insulting. And I think that is a big move from Junelle, because being called black is really not a racist thing. Being called black in Jamaica is not a racist thing. Some people really don't even know that racism exists until they leave outside of Jamaica. I do believe that there are people in Jamaica who don't know that racism exists. They have a brown friend, them have a white friend, the whole of them talk patois, the whole of them are the same thing. Mr. Chin over there, so the only thing is where you will probably have some colorism and classism is everybody is Mr. Chin as long as them have an Asian look, right? And everybody is a white man is then like if them skin too light and a bleaching cause it, right? So with Junelle and colorism, Junelle, do you think that she is misinterpreting things, or is it that she got an overwhelming amount of negative comments to the point where it is just impacting? And even her being as dark as she is, which I think she wear it very well, very confident. Not a lot of people wear their dark skin as confident as she does. Could it be that because she's in an environment where racism exists, they would be looking at this and saying this is racist? But in Jamaica, I really don't believe racism exists. Naomi Pauli say, I agree, it's colorism and not racism. It is colorism in Jamaica. And the only thing that I think would be equivalent to racism in Jamaica would be classism. When there's the upper class who gets everything, and it includes white Chinese and everybody else. They get everything their way. The rule is written for them, by them, and, against the rest. Yeah, I really wanted to just get somebody's feedback on that one. Tunnel vision, the way things are is perfect. No need to change anything. Absolutely, right? The US just racking up medals. It's a good look. It's a very good look. No need to change anything. You see how we have this lady on the screen here? Weeping. Weeping endure for a night. Joy come in the morning. Joy will be on its way. We will be here to talk about when the joy comes. Doreen Dennis, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Some people here because of her skin color. Some people hate her because of her skin color. Well, hey, it would be sad to see. It would be sad to think that somebody would dislike her based on just the skin color. I know that people, even some parents, would look on them and say, black boy. Hey, black girl, you have parents, but they love their children. If that child was to catch a cold, they will be out there in the midnight getting a taxi to bring them to the hospital, spending all night. Sometimes it's just the way how we speak. Yeah, I did pick up that you're saying hate, but it's just the way how we speak. Katsy, what do you think about the rumor of COVID and all the comments and partying after saying you have COVID? I wonder what is COVID at this point. That's why after Noah caught COVID, I said, I didn't even know that COVID exists still. But my only thing, and this could be going into the realm of, like, what you call them, theories. What you call those theories? Going into the realm of conspiracy theories. I believe that with the Olympics being a big event, a world event, huge event, and athletes catching COVID, marquee athletes such as Noah catching COVID, it could be a reintroduction of COVID to the population. well, a reintroduction to the psyche of the population. That's my perspective on it. Noah Lyles, COVID lasted 3 days. 3 days, only 3 days, but it became public. It became world news. Right now, if you Google Noah Lyles, the only thing you will see them associating to Noah Lyles is COVID. Let me see if I can confirm this. Just Googling for news, right? You Google Noah Lyles for news and see just headlines. All right, I'm gonna share the screen real quickly, just because I believe this is how we get introduced to stuff. You'll always hear athletes. So in this case, Noah Lyles under fire for partying in Paris following COVID, right? Noah Lyles fear bronchitis after COVID. Noah Lyles passionate dancing in Paris nightclub. Athletes felt about Noah Lyles and COVID. This is really a reintroduction of COVID to the world. If you hear that people in Jamaica have COVID now, you won't be surprised. If you hear that people in every single country in the world have COVID now, it's because everybody was in Paris and they brought it back to their country. This is reintroduction of COVID to the mind of people. That's me. That's what I think when I saw. Because I didn't even know that COVID still exists. I'm not brushing it aside like it's not a thing, but come on. That's my perspective on this. So when we hear going forward that COVID, there's a new outbreak of COVID, it's over everywhere. This is how I think they reintroduce COVID, getting it from a big athlete to the world, and then the rest of the world have to pick up the pieces from the Uptown is saying that, Uptown Kingston, I am half Indian. I didn't know I was mixed until I went to America and heard someone describing me exactly. You don't know that you're dark. My best friend in high school was an Indian youth. Well, I not even know if my Indian, him just brown, but he have pretty hair and a pot worse than mine. Right? And crazy enough, when my youth I grew up, they used to think that every brown pitney brighter than me. They used to think that them brighter than me, So colorism real. So right now we give them colorists, the people with a higher color, a little bit more leverage. But I never know say racism exists. I did not know it existed. Antoinette is saying, Junella's beautiful skin is just her mouth, and she more work than her mouth did do more work than her foot. Yeah, she has nice complexion. Definitely, I don't believe people care about her skin. Junelle is a beautiful woman. Nobody cares about her skin. When people slow down and take a look at her, they're gonna be like, oh, she black, man. Just like how I see people I say, boy, Andrew knows big, and the next man say, boy, in a lot of cases, he knows bigger than mine to be real. So you have to call him big nose. If you're so big case, you're not going to get in a problem because he knows big. It's just a description. Just like when you see a mechanic, you don't call him by his name. The mechanic named Peter. From him born until him old, him named Peter, and people call him mechanic. All when him not do no mechanic work. It's just the description. Just like our teachers, we still call them miss. We still call the teacher miss. Like, them not have a name. I just Jamaica describe people. Catsy, don't look at outside appearance, just action and speech are if you recognize when you're wrong. And accountability, a lot of us really should the same energy that we use to talk about Junelle. We probably should go under our post and tell her, say, yo, good job as well. Because guess what? During the heat of the moment, we did say a few things that was based on what we saw happening. If we saw her doing good stuff, then probably at some point in the future, we probably should say, you know what, good job, Junelle. Just to be fair and just, right? Pam, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment, guys. Remember to touch that like button if you haven't done so. We're still on that road to 10,000 subscribers. You see how much chatting me do? You don't wonder if me is a seasoned commentator. But no, still new to it. Olympics start the other day. I be doing it the day when the Olympics start. Pam Marshall, it was awful the way Black Jamaicans treated her. All right, one more thing. I like this. As we said, when I started out, I was saying social media. So the thing about social media, why bullying and social media is so interesting. The bullying and social media is interesting because it have anonymity. A white person could be a black person on social media, A black person could be a white person on social media. American could be a Jamaican, and a Jamaican could be an American. And therefore, you could troll anybody based on whatever you're trying to accomplish. Therefore, us trolling Junelle as Jamaican versus an American trolling Junelle as Jamaican, you'll never know the difference. You'll never know the difference. You'll find people saying this or saying that, but it's because of anonymity. You really won't know what's happening, how it's really happening. That's the danger of social media, and that's why I said our athletes need to have social media, and they need to use it responsibly. And if they are not able, for the couple of days that the events are going on, they should put it aside and have a social media manager update them with what's going on in the social atmosphere, because trolling is real, but anonymity is real as well. You look at me right now, black boy with some beard, right? When Lakers at a true and me this for real. And me, a lot of us, we are not exactly who we say we are. So the anonymity would cause an American to be a Jamaican. And this is like, all right, you're dodging the conversation just by switching it up, but it is really how the world works where social media is concerned. You could be Junelle if you want to. You could be Noah if you want to. You could be Coach Francis if you want to on social media, and you could talk as if you are one of them. Especially if somebody who is not adept to researching social media platform, looking at how long this platform was open and how much comments are there, how many people who are associated with this person is in the pictures with them, that kind of stuff. Mildred Allen is saying, Junelle is a beautiful, pretty black woman. No question there. 100%. I agree. They hate her up on Twitter and Instagram. She didn't overreact. She responded well because anyone else may have crashed out. And I do believe that she's strong. Remember, she lost 2 family members recently, and she found a family and a mother in that family as well. So I believe that she's well within her rights to express herself how she did. Well within her rights, but we also could at least acknowledge that racism does not exist in Jamaica. For those people who exist outside of the Jamaican culture from birth up until now, looking in from the outside, racism doesn't exist in Jamaica. It's just colorism and classism. Therefore, a black person in Jamaica is no less than another person in Jamaica because of skin. But, a lot of people would prefer to be brown, so then bleach the skin. That's like taking crack in America, bleaching the skin in a lot of cases. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. It's just that you are not doing anything that is helpful to your body, but you like it anyway. Yomi Paul is saying the issue with Junelle is she's involved with drama and nothing to do with track. That's why she's receiving so much beating online. That's true. But then people would ignore the fact that she get beaten for other stuff because whatever was said here was so impacting. There was such an impact in saying this about race, because racism, remember, anything that you can assign the word ism to is a universal fault. Racism, sexism, anything with ism, schism, you can turn it into anything and you could sell it however you want. Tunnel vision, a lot of the athletes caught COVID and respiratory issues, some hospitalized, but people do treat COVID like it's a common cold. No, that's what I'm saying as well. Didn't know that COVID really exists right now, but I believe that COVID is taking, and I hope that this is just me, I believe COVID is resurfacing as a topic, as a conversation, because they know that with Hurricane Beryl in Jamaica recently, every time I referred to Hurricane Beryl, I referred it as COVID. I was saying COVID when COVID happened the other day. I was talking about Beryl as COVID because the reaction to Beryl was almost like COVID. The country shut down. Yes, a natural disaster shut the country down, but it felt like COVID passed through. Max, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. COVID been in the rise in the US. Now it's on the screen of everybody. Everybody was watching the Paris Olympics. So let's say, for example, a month from now, you hear that COVID is on the rise at the level that it was in the past. Don't be surprised. It was advertised. Kaziri saying, I added 20 days the first time, and the second time 3 days, tested 2 days straight, and get the first day in the second day via work, and tested home 3 days later to go back to work for a negative test. But remember, the first time, even if you barely have COVID, the more you sit out 2 weeks. The second time, them say you can't come and work even if you have COVID, you know. Just wear your mask. COVID was earlier than the 3 days. My body betrayed me and short sick the second time. Shouldn't have posted anything though. Just ride the wave. Third place. That COVID, that is true. Come on now, getting off of the truck and in a wheelchair is equivalent to like a star boy I did in a show. It would have better if him just ride the wave, come off gracefully and say respect to that. Then when the time come, him back out at the 4x1 because him have a problem. Instead of making it seem like I didn't run my best race because I was sick. That's still medal. Yeah, he medal. He did a good job. He did a good job medaling. I said, no, I was trying to be a showman. And as a result, you take on the problem of what a showman would get. Pam Marshall saying, we saw the spread of COVID at Mecca. Well, I don't know. I know Mecca is supposed to be the Muslim, the temple. How did it start? The uptown. When I go water house, me realize say Indian people love the badness too. So I choose to let up. But they say a bad man. When they say an Indian, they think they have a badness. I go have to choose. I guess you can thank Supercat for that. Certainly, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Things have blown out of proportion because what secret could she shared to Noah when they are all a part of the sport with Van Niekerk train and Shaqiri in Jamaica briefly as well. And we should also understand that Jamaica is very, all right, a lot of people, they would say Jamaicans are being touchy and all of these things, but Jamaica, they're sharing their secret because after Wayne Van Niekerk came to Jamaica and left, he broke that 400-meter world record. He broke it right now. Wayne Van Niekerk is the 400-meter world record, and he was running out of the racers camp when he did it. Shaqiri went to Jamaica, came back, and much more. She's quite humble and among the best athletes in the 100. Now, Jamaica is not just keeping things to themselves. I think it's just the way how Noah spoke. He said it like he was kind of suspicious. He's just a suspicious person, and that's why Jamaicans reacted to it like that. Like, oh yeah, man, and chat so much, and then them are gonna be like disappointed in her if you have a man who chat so much. I kind of energy they are come, you know what I mean? That kind of energy, I think. Suddenly saying, I'm sure they would know the secret too. Them if them leave the girl alone, yeah, man. But I do believe, I just wanted to confirm if people believe that racism exists in Jamaica, or is it just that we have colorism there? Some people prefer to be black, some people prefer to be brown, But at the end of the day, some of them still wouldn't even want to be white. I don't believe racism exists. I don't believe so. But they still appreciate everybody because when I came to America the first time and I was dealing with white people became my friend. I really respect them because I didn't see the color the same way how others did. I interacted with them exactly the same. And I even saw where African Americans in America look at even then in America, it's not just that racism exists here. There's a superficial thing that exists in America where if you're an American, you are the elite of people in the world. So you may be the bottom of the world. You may be the bottom of all people in America if you are black, but you are the highest black people in the world. Yeah, that's that. But Jamaica don't believe that. Jamaica believes that we are the best everywhere we go, black, white, or purple. When we reach, we take over. We are the best. So with Junelle, I get it. It's just probably that she's around a lot of people who don't understand colorism the way how Jamaicans operate, and they would associate that as racism, and then it goes out of proportion. But Junelle got a lot of pressure online, more than probably what she deserved, and that's what social media caused, and also anonymity online caused, because even if it's a African American want to pretend to be Jamaican, they can. If it's a white American, if anybody, a Jamaican could pretend to be African American, or even a Spanish person, just Google translate some words and use it. It's just know that bullying online is real, but it really is difficult to say, yo, the Jamaican people is just outright at her because of her skin. And even then the story could get twisted and turned because of there's an opportunity to do it. But anonymity online allow people to be every anybody they want to. And it is saying the browning factor in Jamaica biggest clause. If you're not browning, you're not saying nothing until you're one proper black girl. And they must say, boy, I like her skin. So you look what Bojo Bantan forever. Also. Say me no stop cry if you all black woman. Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing. Most of all, me love me browning. You have to give the two of them props. No stop cry if you all black woman, but me love my browning. Them because them exist. Both of them exist in Jamaica. Can't say. I don't think they hate her because if that brother wasn't acting like that towards her until the video, because they weren't acting like that until the video got spilled. That is true. Of him spilling his guts. Think about it. Nobody really dislike her. Nobody dislike the Jamaican athletes. It's the pride and joy of Jamaica, but Jamaica mark hard. You know what it is? Nobody now mark hard in the field events. Jamaica mark hard in a track and field because of the expectation and because of the results that we have over the years. All the Jamaican athletes are loved because the average person cannot do what the athletes are doing. Those people are at work for the bodies that they have. Real hard. Uptown say, me no believe in moods and vibe. I just feel Junelle set the tone for everything. So you're saying that this probably could be she ruffles some feather and get things in motion. Raquel, big up yourself. Welcome to the live. Again, some of these comments, I'm only getting to them later because I'm reading them. And then, multiple people typing at the same time. It comes in before I can read. Raquel say, both the Jamaican men and women are jealous of Junelle. I think they all want Noah. Well, yeah. Boy, I don't know if reply to what they know. I don't think the Jamaican man want Noah. And the woman them not like man with dress up like girl with bead and pretty fingernail. Is that thin line? Nowadays a thin line. He probably would get nobody else. You know what I mean? Ingrid Davis, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. COVID-19 still exists. Please take it seriously. It upsets me that someone with COVID-19 would have no concern for his fellow athletes around him. And that's another one. You can imagine if somebody else gave Noah COVID, how the US would have treated them, especially if he failed to medal. These medals are not joke to the US, These medals are different quality medals for the US than for other countries. This is all right. You know that the US and China literally in a deadlock for who win Olympics. It's not just who win track and field, who win the most gold medals. They are the ones who win the Olympics. China giving US a run for their money. Let me see who win the Olympics really. So the US and China, they both had 40. The US can't even call themselves a champion because they could have beat China. And imagine 14 of those medals coming from track and field, 14 gold medals coming from track and field. It's because of Jamaica why the US couldn't even keep up with China all these years. Jamaica was dipping into those medals. Usain taking 3 and the women taking 3. 6 of those. Right now, the US would probably have 9 from track and field or less. So these medals are high quality medals. And if somebody would have compromised the health of an athlete who they expected would have medaled, the US would have something to say about it. Let's stop hating on ourselves. Colorism is just as harmful as racism. Well, life, one thing about life is perspective. You know, when you bring perspective to things, then it allows for a conversation. In some cases, let's say, for example, in Jamaica, you're a black person with a lighter shade. I don't see how that is a different race of person. It's not the same as racism. It's just that some people have a preference in color. If you're from a particular race of people, they would definitely look out for the longevity of their people, the long-term existence versus the long-term existence of a second set of people. Therefore, you'll find that a dark-skinned woman could have 2 extremely dark children and 1 light-skinned child. It's still the same. It's still the same race of people. You know, so colorism does have its harm, especially when people force it, when them start clean off the dark off them skin. It have the harm. But on a global scale, I don't think so. Katsy, don't they say in the interview that her boyfriend did cause the issue? Yeah, because he was ruffling feathers. He said, after that, he said he was just trying to be a showman. No, I didn't go there and say, hey, you know what, it was all problems and stuff. You know, he wanted to be a showman like Usain Bolt. But he did it the way how he could. And these things are tests online, you know. If you put something up and it have a lot of traction, then they continue to do it. I'm the world fastest man. He continue to say it, and then you know what? He continue to stay relevant. No, the thing that now is most relevant for online is COVID. It's not even the 100-meter medal, it's COVID. No, it's associated with COVID right now, not even Junelle. Junelle will be fine once you are known, good or bad. It will give you enough light to be seen for brand deals. That is true. They probably on a mission to get deals, responding respectively to colorists. Can just be her mission, as well as she probably could be on a mission to sell the movie, being one of the most relevant. You remember when you look at those housewives, they always create a problem, and even them best friend them throw under the bus. Uptown is saying, you have the right to hate or love yourself. It's not my duty to tell anybody to love or hate him or herself. It's true. Almost man, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comments. There are videos with Noah partying hard in the Olympic party, spreading the virus. But when you hear that the entire world have the virus, you're gonna be like, oops, my bad. Can't see. I have to see the positive test before I define that anyone have it. Because one time you couldn't even say that word. You would be banned. You're right. You're right. One time if you go some cough near somebody, then call police. Think I shoot off of them. And now COVID is this casual. Dory Nines, welcome. Appreciate comment. It is the best that went to the Olympics. She trained hard. Totally. Nobody could have taken her place. She beat them and she get her spot. Just like Sharika did. Nobody could have beat her to get her spot. You know. But not saying about the best as a person. It's just that I was saying colorism. If they're talking about her and her skin, you know, it's not racism. And if she take it like it's racism, she knows that it is not. But if she's with a set of Americans who are used to racism, talking about skin tone is equal to racism. But talking about skin tone in Jamaica by Jamaicans is not racism. I don't think it's the same. Delana Sweetin, appreciate the comment. Welcome to the live. For me, it's hard to believe that Noah truly had COVID and he's here. And here's why, all right? And Noah had COVID and it lasted 3 days and it almost killed him? Come on. Katsy is saying that take the spirit out of the game. They shown things not into that. The showman thing, not into that. Some people bet on these race and take it very seriously. That is true. That is true. So he's saying that, you know what, I was just being the life of the party and stuff like that. But he got beaten by Tobago. They didn't expect it. I believe that he could have died from a panic attack out there now. That was no joke beating him get. The guy jump and touch the ceiling, come back a ground, run up and down, all kind of craziness and run and come third. Almost dead, drop down a ground. I believe that it's a little less. It's something else. It's not really COVID, but not saying COVID is not in the village. And if it's in the village, he could claim it for himself. One good way to get out of all of it. Karen Barnwell, welcome to life. Appreciate the comment. Only the bleachers should think so. Should think that it is racism because you don't want to appreciate them for who they are now. Hey guys, remember to touch that like button. Appreciate it. We're still on that road to 10,000 subs. You know, the Junior Olympics coming up. I think it will start towards the last part of the month. It would not be as long as the real Olympics, but we'll be taking a look at that as well. Uptown, you're saying racism is a concept Black people accept to excuse their failures. People will always find ways to segregate themselves. Most white people not even racist. And if you're from Jamaica, when you hear people talking about racism, when you're around people who says racism, it doesn't make sense a lot of times. Because these people, we are used to failures in Jamaica. Brush yourself off, start over again, especially school. CXC was like a racism to me. I fear that CXC, like, you know what I mean? Like a damn thing that me they worry about. We hear that the test hard, you know. What you think? You say test hard. People make you afraid that the maths test before you got CXC. Sana Hilton is saying, I don't know of us experiencing racism in Jamaica, but we have experienced colorism in Jamaica. That's my thought as well. All right, so Delano was saying that this is why he originally said that, where is it? So Delano Sweeten originally said, for me, it's hard to believe that Noah truly had COVID, and here is why. It's hard for me to believe Noah truly had COVID, and here is why. If he knew he had COVID going into that race, then why would he do all that jumping around before the race start? Him never have COVID. Noah get a bad beating by Tobago who didn't even use all his strength. That was an outrageous beating, not to mention that the reason why he went into therapy was because he finished with a bronze at the previous Olympics, and the person who was ahead of him was also Kung Fu Kenny, and he has a beef with Kung Fu Kenny. So now Leslie Tobago beat him, Kung Fu Kenny beat him. He has 2 bronze. He will need to go back to therapy again. Naomi Paul is saying, Rocky, nobody wants Noah. Well, at least I'm speaking of myself, and she's a lady, sir. So I can tell you, man, them definitely don't want Noah. Delano Sweetin is saying, if you know you had COVID and it's a respiratory compromising ailment, then common sense would tell you not to do something that will exert that much energy. And we know that when you jump up and down, you start to breathe heavy. You use up all your energy and then go run. No make no sense. Uptown is saying she bad a Jamaican. So me can't say no Jamaican man no want him, but she bad at the borderline still, you know, him and a man and him and a woman, that one different thing. You know. So Delano is saying second reason is less than a week later, he says he's happy to say I'm COVID free. I don't know if you all know about but on average COVID takes minimum 1 week or 2 weeks to leave the body. That's what I was saying. By Sunday, him COVID free. By Sunday, and I think him get beaten Thursday. You get beaten Thursday evening, and Sunday they put a talk show and say, I'm happy to say I'm COVID free. No. It's not accepted. The guy get a beating from Leslie in such a way that him no know how to angle it. Him go call ball out COVID. Minva, welcome to life. Appreciate the comment. US 1, China 2 in ranking. They both have 40 gold medals. That's what I'm saying. But US have more bronze and silver. But because them, you see, if China did have 1 gold medal more than the US, China win the Olympics. The US couldn't allow that. The US is a world power. They're supposed to win in everything. Remember, $15 million for housing for 2 teams, a basketman men team and basketman women team. 15 million US dollars. Think about how much money them inject in that Olympics. $9 million for Snoop Dogg around and put on a weird glass. $9 million for 18 days. The US pump a whole of money in that. No gold medal, no value so much. And when the athletes win a gold medal, them give them $37,500. Doreen is saying, I think so too. They're jealous of Junelle. I see what I mean? Perspective does make sense. But in case of jealous, a lot of women will not share a man. And most Jamaican women now go there with a man who have 2 women in a public. That will be a secret. Therefore, I want person share Junelle can I one person don't know I go deal with at a time. But if they're saying choosing somebody else, no, she's in the circle. That's who no I want. That's who you get. So if them jealous, them cannot take her place. It is what it is. But I don't believe it's jealousy. It's just because Jamaica mark hard. And Jamaica don't like people who talk a lot certain ways. And them are go disappointed. So she there with a man where I spill everything I wrote. And they really not care either. It's just that they love talk. Uptown, jealous of Junelle, man talk foolishness. Rocky Hill is saying, with Van Niekerk, Shakiri never trained in Jamaica. Work out in preparation for a meet that's held in Jamaica, not training. No, not really, you know. They're actually training in Jamaica. Van Niekerk for sure at the Racers Track Club was there training. He was there when Usain Bolt and Johan Blake was there. It's not just working out. And Shakiri spent some time there training as well. It's not just that it was a meet. Not saying that she changed coach, but she went there to experience the culture, learn from people. But remember, advice, sometimes, you know, you get advice from a person who have 50 years experience. It's different from getting advice from a person with 20 years experience. So, you know, you never know which experience value more. Junelle will be fine. I think she's making herself known. It's only be bad people who not seeing it. The bigger pictures, responding respectfully to colorists should be her in the end goal to get deals. And seeing that sprint is almost like a reality TV show. It's for her to get the best, perspective, get the best views. You know, stir up the conversation. Hey, Noah is no joke. You know, remember Noah in his house was saying, "Me and you go into the Olympics, winning all the races, bringing home all the golds, being the winningest couple in the business." They have a plan, and I think I can respect the hustle. I respect it. It's just that when Noah go ball out, they have COVID, then you know, so that kind of look away. Cats is saying playing sick is not cool. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, because you can really get sick for true. And if you can lie about sickness, you can lie about other things. True that. Naomi Paul is saying Junelle is putting Jamaica in a bad light, talking about racism to tap into issues other black people care about. And Jamaica platform, only thing people talk about is she talking too much and being average runner. And that is true. And somebody listening to this, they're going to be like, this is harsh. She's not just an average runner. She's one of Jamaica's best. She's one of Jamaica's finest. True. But Jamaica is quite average in the 400 meter at the moment. Jamaica have a lot of average runners, because I said that Usain Bolt, Shelley and Fraser Price, in terms of Iran, Johan Blake, the pinnacle of Jamaica track and field. And Jamaica is living off of the success from those. It might be seen in different ways. What happened to McLeod, who won 100 meter gold at the Olympics, 110 meter hurdle gold at Olympics, and Parchment. Jamaica is not living off those because they don't highlight it. They highlight stuff and they live off that. It's like wearing the yellow, gold and green means that you're a celebrity at the Olympics automatically. or at any track event. And it's not true. The celebrities, Usain Bolt, Elaine Thompson, Irash Shelley, and Fraser Price, and everybody else will have to earn theirs. Even Johan Blake, I forgot earn fame, even though my second fast is better than every American sprinter who ever exists. Johan Blake, better, even though he don't have the accolades. He have the fastest time, he have faster time than every American in a 100 and 200, and him are the only one that could challenge. And in the Usain Bolt A-Day, Johan Blake, the only athlete to beat him in an A-Day, only when him not injured. So, Usain Bolt, them would still have to deal with Johan Blake. And Jamaica have a lot of, the color is good, it's really nice. You see it, you know it, it pop. But not all the athletes are superstars. Them have to build a name for themselves. And Kishian Thompson signal being superstar at the Olympics. He signaled it and he lived up to the hype. He lived up to it because it's a lot of pressure. Kishian is the second person. Only 2 people win Olympic silver at the Olympics in 100 meter for Jamaica. Kishian Thompson and Johan Blake. Bolt never win no silver, only gold. But only 2, to put that into perspective. So when them say she's an average athlete, an average runner, it's true. Average, very average. Finished 18 at the race, running too many races. You know? Again, she give her all. No, no, we couldn't do it. Me couldn't do it. We can't tell her that for sure. You know? Suddenly he's saying, Rocky, shut up! When Van Niekerk was here, Jamaica training. That's without a doubt. And then he broke the world record. First person got hug up was Usain Bolt. Glenn Mills, him probably they want to find. But all of them are training partner. All of them training partner. You and even you see in the free time in 400. Because I know exactly who he is. Audrey is saying, we train with Glenn Mills in Jamaica for around 3 months and during the time broke the world record. Glenn Mills is no joke. And I even had a question that I had prepared to ask. What happens when Glenn Mills and Stephen Francis pass their time? How Jamaica recover from that? Because if we cannot find a Usain Bolt back, if we can't find somebody operating at that level, getting those consistent 9.8s, where will we find a coach that bring you over the top? In the sprints, we had a medal from Francis. We had a medal from Stephen Francis. And we had a 100-meter finalist from Stephen Francis. And the athlete that we thought of, that could have done it for Jamaica as well as Stephen Francis. How do we replace Stephen Francis? Naomi Paul is saying a part of being a good sportsmanship is accepting defeat and celebrating other victory. It's not every day you will win, and he didn't show up for the press conference. True. Sanali Hilton, Rakil is saying, I suppose you were the only person he was training with. Yeah. Yeah, man. Kazri. This name is kind of one-on-one. One-on-one is saying, I heard the Olympic adjusted the rules for that COVID thing. It was anxiety in his ass. If you watch him coming around that bend, you can see his mood switch. You see? Panic attack frightening him. I said, he literally, that's what I saw on Noah. A panic attack. He literally could have died out there. The eyes, them, like, definitely panic attack. The mother see it, you know. The mother said the security, them never want to help him son. I agree, you know, you want to see your son live, but a panic attack, call it what it is. Yes, when you have bronchitis and when you have pneumonia, your breathing get compromised, lungs swell up, but you know, go down back, so. No, you know, go down back. No, I get cold feet, not COVID. But Marshall said, we need Noah for this Olympics, and he added excitement. We're still talking about him. The rematch will make big money. Kishan needs to show his personality and get out of his head. He needs to own his fame. Definitely needed a hype man, and Noah was a hype man for the Olympics. And we're still talking about him. Junelle was his sidekick, still talking about her. But we have to call a spade a spade. They were doing this for the attention that they received. And I respect them for that. Rocky said, Naomi Paul, I can tell y'all sure talk about him like y'all got a crush on him. What a something. Uptown, he said, at Pub Marshall as we speak, I think they're planning a rematch with Noah and Thompson. I wonder if that's going to happen. I really wonder if it's going to happen, you know. Rocky Hill is saying Bull or Bullish High School. They attend by Quincy Wilson is ranked higher than Jamaica. But you know, it still is a compliment when you see that the US can be comparing itself with Jamaica. You can imagine if Jamaica did have 340 million people, what kind of problem they would have created for the US? Are just less than 5 million people in the whole Jamaica diaspora and Jamaica, you know, probably 6 million and only 3 million depend on the ground in Jamaica. You can just imagine if Jamaica had the like half the population of the US, what kind of problem the Jamaican people would have created for the US, a world power. Headache, man, especially if they take part in other sports as well. Almost, man, he's saying, Blankpito. Meanwhile, the whitening of Westerners deliberately sent immigrants to the island to mix with the locals, breeding a lighter color skin got special privilege than the dark native. And you're not just the whitening, no, them do it on TV, just like I was said, Noah promoting COVID in my eyes. See, we have Kim Kardashian and everything else promoting the mixing. So it's not that they want to get rid of black people, you know, they want the strength, you know, but they don't want the skin there. That's how the thing come down. A part of the whole thing. Almost, man. At the beginning of the 21st century, Cuban government created immigration laws to invest more than 1 million into recruiting Europeans into Cuba for the whitening of the state. Wow. Can you imagine so much things that the world continuously cover? Because a lot of these conversations are not even allowed, you know, to a lot of people. And these are real things. Real things. And enough of these things are deliberate. Now you look at Sydney McCatlin. Again, I guess she didn't get as much attention as she probably deserved. But as a mixed person, can't tell if she's black or white, you can see that the genetic pool, or whatever the genetic mixing is, you're getting the best of both worlds with her. Because I've never seen an athlete as fit as her. You know, you're getting those people running the long distance and the short distance, clapping in the middle right there, and it's the rest of it is history. Katsi is saying she darn well know that it's not racist. She need to correct them and teach them more about the culture and not carry on with it misleading information. It's not racist. Jamaica don't have that racist thing going on. Jamaica have colorism thing. Almost, man. This happened throughout the West Indies, and the lighter skinned, the lighter people think they are better than the darker. The mindset still exists today, as lighter skinned folks in the Caribbean have the best jobs. And that's why the bleaching, hence the bleaching, it's true. But I tell you, when I was in high school, and that's where I had my wake-up call. When I left primary school and I went to high school, I had some lighter skinned classmates. And I automatically thought they were brighter than me. I came from a little school with maybe 8 or 9 of us in grade 6, and nobody wanted to send their children there because it was one of those backward schools. And when I went to high school, myself and one of the girls from that school was the brightest in the entire 7th grade, right to 11th grade. And I was doing poor in grade 7 because I thought I was just not bright. And then somebody showed me them grade. One brown pitney showed me them grade. And I say, what? Me get more than you? I'll be a lick me get it from that straight to 11th grade. Me never ever need to go 6th form to go college. But again, it comes down to mindset. He had COVID from the Tuesday, from what people are saying, who saw him with the mask. If he didn't, they had him pretending since Tuesday. Or unless it was a precautionary measure, because if other people in the village had COVID, other Jamaicans had COVID, and Junelle is Jamaican in the Jamaican camp, it's precautionary. You know, it could have been precautionary. Rocky Hill is saying, man, you people really don't know what y'all are talking about. Talk about how they trained in Jamaica, man. Do some research before you speak. All right, I'm gonna check on that one, Rocky. I believe you trained in Jamaica though. Wendy, big up yourself. Welcome to the live. Appreciate your comments. Casey is saying, did you know that the latest YouTube video saying that Gabby Thomas is the second fastest woman over 200 meters after Flojo? That's what I'm saying about. That's what I'm saying about. You know, them always say the winner of war rewrite the history of stuff. Gabby Thomas' time in the Olympics was not fast. It wasn't even her personal best. It was a good time, but it wasn't even the personal best. But the winners of war, and I said it before, the US spent so much money, millions of dollars. Gold medal mean nothing to them in terms of the value. It's the bragging rights. It's the bragging rights and going in. Remember though, you know, Gabby win 3. Gabby is the face. After Gabby won that 4x4 medal, that gold medal, 4x4 gold medal, Gabby is what Shaqiri should have been now. Somebody have to be the face of track and field from the US going into 2028. Noah for the men, Gabby for the women. It was supposed to be Shaqiri. But you know, this will all unfold. This will all unfold. Social media is here for it. Doreen is saying, why you leave out Asafa? Because of accomplishment. Asafa had been the very first record breaker for Jamaica. He broke the world record twice for Jamaica. And so he had the world record twice. But in terms of accomplishment, I think Usain he has a world champion bronze and an Olympic gold in relays. He is not one of the winningest athletes for Jamaica. So when I was using the examples of who they are living off, you know, Asafa didn't accomplish at the same level as Usain Bolt. He didn't accomplish at the same level of Elaine. Elaine is an undefeated champion, you know. Undefeated champion at the Olympics. Never lost at the Olympics. So, Usain Bolt undefeated at the Olympics. If anything, they are living off Usain and Elaine. Shelly is a world champion athlete. She still wins some Olympic stuff, but at the pinnacle, it would be Elaine and Usain. Asafa, well, he stole the heart of the people very early with his fast times, but that's it. That's where it stopped. Nonetheless, Asafa, he got a statue in Jamaica. He got a statue. At least he got some recognition. Wendy, I'm not saying I'm not Jamaican, but I'm here about colorism happening in Jamaica. But I've heard about colorism happening in Jamaica. If it's true, it's sad, kind of like US as racism. It is similar, but different. Because even a black person, we call you black. You're black like you know. You see a black like. It's different. In the US, you're powerless to what is being said, and the action that could be exact in your direction is outside of your control. You don't really get nobody at trouble because of your skin in Jamaica. Let me tell you what them feel. Yeah, probably you'll find people troubling themselves because of their skin, but people don't have trouble because of their skin in Jamaica. That's from what I've seen. Katsy saying, yes, congrats to Kishane. Kishane, a silver medalist, the second silver medalist for Jamaica. A lot of people will not realize how powerful Kishane is, what he did. The second person ever. And if he had won the gold, it would have been the second person ever. So he's still the second person. Uptown is saying at Wendy, it is not sad. Humans will always be human. Uptown Jamaica will be good by next year. Start recover already. Paris, them just want to wash off now. Clear their mind and regroup. Do a little postmortem of what happened. You know, talk to a few of the J3A people, ask them to leave politely. And bring some people with passion. Honestly though, I would love to see Usain Bolt going into taking a little bit more interest in Oblique Civil and let's say Kishian. Be just, even if you're not going to give them any kind of mentorship, just let them know that, you know what, guys, we believe in you. That kind of something, that kind of thing we want to see from him towards those two. Guys, I believe in you too. You guys will become the new, you're going to become the new generation of greatness in Jamaica. You know, kind of hype them up a little bit, man. The same way you see US hyping these people up. Footballers hyping up track and field athlete to the point where these track and field athletes believe it. Usain Bolt is the highest form of confidence from Jamaica. Give it to them. RJ is saying in Jamaica it's more classism rather than colorism. So colorism is the highest level. Classism is the highest level. That's more like racism in Jamaica. Classism, for sure. The Bale Meredith family, welcome to live. Appreciate the comments. Even Francis and Glenn Mills need to take their health in hand, and they will be here for a long time. But we also need some of those tribal knowledge to be transferred to some people. Hopefully it's being transferred, because tribal knowledge die with the person who have it. The chief user die with the knowledge. Won't help us anyway. Hype different from sabotage. Junelle is saying that Rocky, yes, long old tongue dog. I was his personal coach and trainer. Hey Rocky, I know your skin is thick. That doesn't affect you at all. Lion King football in entertainment. Welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. The problem is finding a replacement in the upcoming coaches. Upcoming coaches think they're too good before they achieve anything, so it's hard to teach them. I wonder, because even with Akeem Blake, where he is getting some good starts, poor finishes, I believe that at some point some of these upcoming coaches need to collaborate with the big coaches, and even the big coaches at some point probably need to collaborate with each other, creating this intersecting, and where they can work together to create this elite athlete. They do it. They need to intersect at some point. Even if you're gonna have your individual set, you intersect at some point, and at some place, some camp, they need to be known for providing specialized things. Some places they need to have repair and treatment. So these athletes, if you're going to this club, yes, you know that you're gonna be able to work on the basics, but you definitely know, say, if you get injured, you can recover and get repaired, because they have the facility for it. They don't have to have different clubs, you know. They just need to work together. Rocky, let's say that suddenly you must be Anna, but in the Anna Butter in this guys, then, huh? I don't know him. Oh, is that the grandmother? But no, man, he went to Jamaica, got trained for true, you know. He was in Jamaica training. It's just that, hey guys, remember, you know, like Rocky, Wendy, people who don't believe it, you know, Jamaica helped the rest of the world as well, you know, not just Jamaicans. They were helpful to the rest of the world where their development is concerned. You know, they really did help out. Naomi Paul is saying that Lion King football entertainment. Unfortunately, Jamaica has a preparation for when these coaches. Yeah, unfortunately, Jamaica has no preparation for when these coaches and athletes retire. We really on the raw athlete rather than aiding the development, relying on the raw athlete other than aiding the development. Sad. You think, say, you believe that US getting beaten over the years for the past couple of years, 20 years, the past decade. They weren't planning for 2028. They weren't planning to be relevant in 2024 so that they can go with the momentum into 2028. Jamaica have to start. And I believe getting beaten at the Olympics right now is a wake-up call. And also seeing what happened with social media is good, because the next time around they will handle it better. Seeing what happened with the athletes. Seeing how they mismanage the money per diem for only this little bit of money. Athletes going in there literally deprived. When you go back home, you're poorer than when you leave. Hey, they will figure it out. They have to. If they want to continue to say, hey, Jamaica, they have to figure it out. Doreen is saying, it's so funny. All of the Americans are more of a darker skin tones. It is the only thing I look at when I saw them out there was like poetic justice. The only time I find it confusing is in the long distance when the Europeans are beating the Africans. Because if you think about it, you know, if them decide, say, you know what, we don't like black people no way at all, all I want to go in a one team, and the whole of the white people and come on one. The whole of basketball match them would have go to the black people, and the whole of the running them go to the black people, and black people would have stay out of the pool card, nobody now swim. Probably play some volleyball, probably that would have been very competitive, tennis competitive, but The only difference between in the track and field is just the flag. It's just the flag and the color of the uniform, and the fact that we have our emotion tied to a particular athlete based on the fact that they have on the uniform, then they have the name away associate to the country where they are from. But it is good to see that all of them black. Not saying that it's colorist or racist at this point. It's really good to see that this black man over here so run so fast. Me, you see, looking at the mirror and see that I'm this black woman running that fast. Another girl look into it and say, hey, black people can run fast. Me can do it too. Inspiration doesn't matter where you're from. So it's good. It's just that we pick a flag to cheer for. Me say Nigeria has 100 million people, no medal. India have 1 billion, no medal in sprint. But India did get a javelin silver for sure. But you are very right. Jamaica is a powerhouse. And for the past 20 years, disrupting the status quo, disrupting the US. As I stated before, if China had one more gold medal ahead of the US, China would have won the Olympics. The US won the Olympics because China had fewer medals overall. But the ones with the most gold medal win the Olympics. And the sprint this time around gave the US the win because the US had 14 gold medals in this track and field, 40 medals overall. Jamaica getting 10, 12, 14 medals is literally unprecedented based on the per capita. It's a big deal because the US only had 40 medals. The big US only had 40 medals in track and field. If you put that into perspective, 40 plus medals. The reminds the look that took part, the ones that took part in the Olympics. Yeah, the one. Well, you'll have, let's say in the swimming, it's all white. You wouldn't see a black person swimming for the US. You know, Paul, almost, man. Unfortunately, we associate lighter skin tone as being prettier and richer in society, not limited to Caribbean, Asian, as a great colorism. Asia, yes, great colorism problem as well. Experienced it firsthand. Don't surprise, Indian people, like when them white, them bleach just as much. It's probably that them have a better approach to bleaching, but it's the same. It's pretty much the same. The colorism thing is really, really up there in Asia as well. Suddenly saying, Rocky Hill, anything you say, you come in like Rolling Stone, always in Jamaica business. Go, man. Cha-cha. Lion King Football Entertainment. The academics care, or the academies, academic or academics, care not of sports. That's why the Olympics does not pay athletes. To pay the government, you are considering a slave, as if the first an athlete could have a direct sponsor. So to pay the all right, if I'm understanding it, this is that academics do not care of the sport. That's why Olympic does not pay the government. Your government, you are considered a slave. All right. Overall, if I'm understanding this, the Olympics really is not for just the government or for people. Olympics is a celebration of Olympic gods. It's a tradition that went back, and it's the greatest of the great country gets the win to celebrate. There's something bigger than that, bigger than it, but it's something bigger than just medals, what the Olympics represent. But those people who are like American, the bigger countries, the Olympics, those bragging rights is important. Jamaica collecting those medals had no idea what they're doing. They just collected it. That's why Usain Bolt, after he got into it and they accepted him, they're like, okay, this is a world athlete. You're saying it's no Jamaican athlete, not just Jamaican athlete. Yes, he represents for Jamaica, but he's a world athlete. He was accepted by an entire continent, by 7 continents. World athlete, Olympics connect 7 continents. Tunnel vision, it's still Shakiri. She is women track and field in the States. That's what you would like to think. They'll figure out a way how to get her, especially with the way how she won that 4x4 looking over and bringing her head back and just running and just, they'll probably say, hey, look at this. How she win it. Yes, but Gabby getting 3 gold medals, she could become the face. She could. They started it already. Almost, man, Noah lies. Don't have COVID. This was a setup for a great American hero story, whether you won or lost. Noah can be seen partying with his friends at Olympics. enjoying and having a good time. Oh boy, hey, it's a lot to be said. Naomi Paul is saying, rewrite USA, understand the economics gain from sports. Jamaica government don't want or understand how to tap into the resources of Jamaica, such as sports and music. All right. Most countries, they have the original resources, whether it's the raw materials. And again, you have to know, if you know, you know. Countries with raw materials cannot manufacture it, they cannot refine it. You know, as a result, as I said, you tap into it, the resources. Jamaica, they have literally everything, and they cannot refine it themselves. I've always said it. Years, Usain Bolt in Jamaica dominating the way he did. Jamaica should have had a stadium that they use for diamond leagues as well. They should have carved out one of those big country area and create something there for parking spaces and bring it. You don't even need more than one big stadium area. You know, you use it for every single sport, because in cricket they had it, in track and field they had it, and then when they want to use it for soccer, they could have used it for soccer as well, because financial driver of economy is something that continuously push the money in. Sports is a financial driver of economy. If you have a good sports facility and good surrounding environment, you pay for parking, you pay for the people selling food, you pay for hotels, people coming in, you pay for transport. It continues, it goes on and on and on and on. Jamaica had the resources for it. They just did not develop it. So I completely agree with you on this one, Naomi Paul. 100%. Lion King Football Entertainment, how does the respect for the police goes in regards to skin in Jamaica? It's the same. They probably would have less respect. I don't know. I don't think there's anything. The police, people fear the police. It doesn't matter the skin tone. People fear the police and they don't trust them, they don't like them. So the respect for police in Jamaica, it has nothing to do with skin, and it just it's the job. They don't respect the job. I think it's similar to the US. People don't respect the job in the US either. A lot of people are afraid of the police, and in Jamaica, people are not really afraid. They just don't like them. Tunnel Vision. What Kishane did was choke as the overwhelming favorite. Kishane went in as the fastest, not the favorite. He went in as the fastest that caused the favorite to be afraid of him. But if you look at the reality of everything, Fred Curley was fast as a faster time than Kishane. Noah Lyles going in there as the face of the sport. Kishane in his very third. We have to put some of these things into context as well, you know. His very third race for Jamaica. The first time Kishane ever wore a Jamaica color on the tracks was in the first heat of the Olympics. New, inexperienced to the sport. So going out there and holding his own, and the way how he lost. A lot of people would be saying just suck it up, but the guy did not lose with any distance. He lost with the same time as the winner. They both had the same time. It was a photo that determined the winner, not the time. It could have gone anyway. So Kishane did a very, very good job and become the second man in Jamaica to win a silver medal at the Olympics. The second man. And if he had won, the second man ever in Jamaica to win a gold medal at the Olympics in the 100 meters. So I think he did a good job. He did not choke. The politics behind sports decided the winner. So that's the one. That's the hill I'm dying on. Rocky Hill and Lion King. That's the hill I'm dying on. You know, yeah, but Michelle Sonelli is saying that was disrespectful though, Rocky Hill. We can disagree, but not so harsh. What happened here? Naomi Paul Chu, because the Westerners ravage all the countries and turn the people against themselves. Hey, one thing I can say, you know, if we just pivot, black is a beautiful thing, you know, especially when you understand yourself. You know, it's beautiful. It's just that a lot of us are living outside of ourselves. We're living outside of ourselves. A lot of people living inside of a house, they don't really, even getting a house is an accomplishment. But is it really? Getting a family, I used to enjoy extended family more than I enjoy nuclear family. Because if I can't get along with cousin A, I get along with cousin B. I get along with uncle, and I don't get along with mommy. But the way how things are, it's divide and rule. It's kind of different. That would be absolutely a different topic for something else. But black is really beautiful, and nobody can say otherwise unless they appreciate their skin, which is not black. White people appreciate white, black appreciate black, but some white appreciate white as well, without having the racist card being pulled. Pam Marshall is saying, do you think it's going to be an era of Jamaican athlete exodus? Well, unless they combat it early, there could be that time. But you know what? There's something worse than a Jamaican athlete exodus. Jamaican athletes are being born every single day. A Jamaica coach exodus is a nightmare. And see that Glenn Mills alluded to the fact that he got offered to 2 different countries full accreditation to the Olympics. He still could practice in Jamaica, but he can represent a different country. And he said it's just a shame to even think about doing it. So the exodus is bad for athletes, but it's worse if the coaches start to think about that kind of exodus. What would that mean for Jamaica? And that's why I asked the question, should Steve Francis and Glenn Mills decide that their time has ended in Jamaica, who replaces them? Or would you recover from that? How long would it take to recover from that? Cathy saying that Raquel act like he is a spokesman for Jamaica. He's everywhere with an input. Rocky, a general, man. Michelle, do you think these little words bother me? Lion King, football and entertainment. They not handling anything better since Merlin, Atty, and Raymond. It's been the same. I believe that the organization get their extra power with the success of the athletes. Now that there had been some failures, it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, But it also is good for the athletes. We could see the future being brighter for them because now that they are forced to look at the head, you probably see that the stream being dirty started at the top. And it has nothing to do with the athletes. Because if these athletes are sad inside there, keep it moving, Michelle there, keep it moving and start with me. I pretty much describe that dog with the long tongue hanging out on his display picture. Keep it moving and stay out of it. China and USA had the same amount of gold medal, but if China had one more than the US, China would have won. If US had one, US had the same amount of gold medal, but they had a lot more silver and bronze, so US won the Olympics. But this is the true battle for Olympics, winning the overall Olympics. And the US did. Not always, but China did a very good job to make some inroads this time around. Lion King is saying, I'm at Pam Marshall, stop watching that they ain't got we big dogs and think we need to focus on us. We need to pay some attention to the country. Yeah, 40 each gold. But the US have more medals overall, that's true. Kim Bella, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. Not racism. Most people are the same race. Jamaica has colorism problems. That is true. Finally, overall, yeah. Overall, the same amount of medals. Pam Marshall is saying, we should take up Adidas offer. There is space for both Puma and Adidas. One stadium can work. Forward-thinking people needed. So yes, that would be good if they use both, if it's possible. They could get sponsored. One of them with a recovery center, and one of them help with the athletes' performance, because the recovery is important. An athlete could go injured and they go injured for 2 years, have to go overseas and all of that. They need to develop a recovery environment in Jamaica as well. So one and wash the other. Kerry and Paul, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. There was one black swimmer for us. Well, yeah, you see, but trust me, now we get a lot. I am still Team USA. Somebody have to be. Suddenly, Hilton Rocky is saying, I am a law student and an army officer. I am tall, built, and handsome. Nothing you say can bother me. Get them, Rocky. Trust me. But say if water not getting in your boat, you can't sink it, Rocky. But you see tall, built, and handsome. Even the man they get born. Apart, I think, as I come down. Lion King associate. And if you don't know what bun mean, the woman still cheat. Kerry and Powell. But I understand your point. We had one female swimmer a few years ago. Yeah, if it's a swimming, it's just ever so often you'll have a victory in swimming for a male, for a black person, but for a black person overall. But the US, Australia, these places, they would be dominating swimming. China dominated this time around. Gymnastics, we saw that gymnastics, black people could dominate the gymnastics because I think the 3 top gymnasts in this Olympics, they were black, Brazilian, and 2 of them US. So the US, if you pinned black against white and against Asian and all of that, it would be a crazy kind of battle. But you see, there are things that the different race would excel in. Doreen is saying, I think Tia Clayton will do well next Olympics. But again, there will be other people vying for that. I hope that she will do very well, much better than what you see from everybody else. But I hope that others are there just as good or better. I need Jamaica to have the rivalry inside the country. So when they step out of the country, it doesn't matter who represent Jamaica, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. The rest of the world have to tremble. You know? Michelle Kingston is saying, can't wait to see Sydney in 100. Sydney McCatlin, 100. That would be interesting. Suddenly, Hilton, Rocky Hill, congratulations on being built tall and handsome. See, you're getting congratulated. Rocky Hill. Yes. Lion King Entertainment. The academics have been blocking sports development for decades before the national stadium. Okay. Because again, you know, everything is a business, you know, and if you allow everybody will be, it's competitive. So even before you get to the sports, building a stadium is competitive. Owning the rights to any of it is competitive as well. Yeah, it's interesting though. It's very interesting. My MVP is Hassan, winner of the marathon. Definitely. He third, and then first. Third, and then first. A good run. Determined. Very much determined, I would say. Naomi Paul is saying Rocky Hill. You could be lying. Your DP is a dog. I told you before. You know. You could be saying that Jamaicans are trolling Junelle, but it could be anybody. It could be anybody trolling Junelle. A person from China in a little bus somewhere park on the street because they know want them pick up in Wi-Fi. Could be trolling her as a Jamaican. It's online. Anything goes. Suddenly Hilton is saying at Naomi Paul, I'm CM1 on the pitch. Oh God, that's brutal. I'm CM1 on the picture. Oh. My mistake. I just saw that I was muted. How does police approach people? How does police approach people based on skin in Jamaica? So Thank you. I just saw that I was muted. Thank you so much. I was just talking off a storm. So I was saying that Jamaican police, they don't really care about color. They look, they like the woman. The Jamaican men police, them look everybody woman. But where color is concerned, they pay no attention to skin tone. They pay no attention to skin tone. But they will pay attention to class. If you're from a particular class within Jamaica, police probably wouldn't even stop you. They don't care. You can get away with anything. So class is equivalent to color in Jamaica. And most of those communities in Jamaica that is in the upper echelon, the highest level of society, they are surrounded by some of the lower level communities. So police will be patrolling those at all time. It's like it's almost like a security. It's kind of weird. But in Jamaica, nobody care about the color, whether you're police, soldier, anything. But the class, though, if you're from a certain class of society, you can do whatever and get away with anything. That's the one thing about the classism in Jamaica. It's worse than the colorism. Kathy, there was no donkey length win for true. Yeah, it's just the same time, 9.79. It's the same time. So even then, he can't. You'll just have to understand that he was assigned a victory over the other guy. They just assigned a medal to one and not the other. The Olympics is a ritual to honor the Zeus gods. Ancient Greek decorate the temple in Israel, or disseminate the temple in Israel, and dedicate the altar for Olympus by sacrificing a pig. They then built gyms, male nudity and sports. So it was like Coliseum style athletics. No, they're just doing it differently. Even soccer. A lot of people don't understand soccer that we love and enjoy so much. It was heads. It wasn't balls, it was heads. People roll head, them Vikings and those crazy rebels. I don't even know if it's rebel. Those people back in the day, them chop off people's head and play with it like football. Kick it as far as them can. Whoever kick it the furthest, win. That's what it was. And again, you'd probably hear that empire started. You'll hear the Greek Empire. They always change their name from one empire to the next. The same people. They move over to Britain, same empire, same games, just that they have more sophisticated technology that is not as barbaric in nature. Wall Street, for example. Wall Street. I remember when I just started out, I used to do some research on this, seeing people talking about, I remember this conversation about those people who are having too many children. They are like just breeding up for no reason. But there was a time when having 10 children was economic power. A woman with 10 children, a family with 10 children automatically could become rich because those children who work bring the money back. And that's where Wall Street came in. They used to take these people and sell them on a street. You know, it's Wall Street with stocks and bonds. So you have some stocks, you have some bonds. They use the bonds to buy the stocks. You know, it's the same thing. It's just that it's redecorated now, and you're doing it with digital currency now. Before it was paper money. You know, it goes on and on and on and on. So all of these things are just transcending, and we have to survive in the society that we live. So we have to just acclimatize, stay current. Lion King saying another thing we need is a finishing coach. So right now it seems like Jamaica really have athletes who run up to the 60 meter and then shut down. They need somebody who would push through. Is that what you're saying? Like a finishing coach? What does that mean? I'm not catching up with a lot of these. Let's see if I could run. Let's see if I could run through and catch up with some of these. Anyway, Paul, I love my dog, and I have 3 of them now. Jaja God, Rocky Hill. Kimbella, Jamaica athletes exodus can't happen if the J3 don't approve the exodus paperwork run things. So probably they can't switch allegiance, but what if them switch nationality? Then they can, you know. But again, you don't have to get rid of the athletes. You can just get rid of the coaches. So if you get the coaches out, then it's good for the opposition, you know. Sunny Lee saying Tia Clayton, Alana Reid is the future is promising for Jamaica, but not just even Tia Clayton and Alana Reid. You have Tia Clayton, Alana Reid, you have Serena Cole, you have Tina Clayton, you have Crystal Slowly, a lot of athletes. You have the other one from Heidel that Alana Reid went to. There's so many. She was always challenging them. It's so many. The future is very bright. It's just that it could get dampened by the politics, and the politics is usually the first to deteriorate and everything. Follow Kimbella. Sachin Dennis tried to leave. They blocked. So he is at elite performance. So what am I going to force them to stay at Jamaica? They're going to run and come last. They're going to run and come last. Almost, man. Israel is the African land known biblically as Canaan. We possess it from them. We possessed it from them, but were driven out after the conqueror of the Canaanites and settled in other African nation. Yes, we are Hebrews, but not just that. Again, a lot of these things, again, you have to literally bring them into perspective in a palatable way. You know that Jamaica is where a lot of, I'd have to find a video. I'm going to find a video on this and I'm going to present it one day. Jamaica is the settlement where in the 1500s, because a lot of people believe that it only started in the the 1700s. In the 1500s, a lot of those people who exited from the west, from the east, they settled in Jamaica as well. There are books that show, there are videos for it. I'll show it one day. I'll make a video. I'll make a really good presentation. So it's not just that Jamaicans, as I said before, Jamaica is unique, but look at the flag. It's not by chance that Jamaica is one of the few flags in the world that doesn't have red, white, and blue on it. Almost every other flag in the world have it. It's just so unique. It so happened that Jamaica chose three colors that none of these are on. A little country in the middle of the world, in the middle of the Caribbean. But again, it would be like switching from one topic to the next right there. Katsy is saying, yes, how me never know. I'm not sure what point, because I'm not staying with the comments. EJ Brown, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. Jamaica should have more swimmers. Jamaica should have more stadiums. Jamaica should have a better facility to harness the talent that they have and to use the resources in such a way that they could become that elite nation. They want somewhere for recovery, though. They want somewhere for repair and recovery for the athletes. These athletes are struggling with getting injured early. Somebody alluded to the fact that the boys and girls champs in Jamaica is supported or promoted by a private entity. It's a boys and girls champs. It's a business in high school using athletes for entertainment. These events, even ISA boys and girls championship, the ISA company should be making something that will help these athletes beyond to repair and to recover. Because these are only human. These are only human. When Usain Bolt talk about Johan Blake, he said that he came to the Racers Track Club injured already. Michelle Kingston is saying Canada has a black male swimmer. You see, we can say one. Look at how big Canada is. It's so hard to find black male swimmers. I'm caught up to the no audio. Okay. I'll probably just rush through this real quick. You can see me looking at a professional performance, not color that don't move me, the color thing. Now, the thing is this. The reason why we ended up saying color was because somebody said when they look, they observe, because a lot of people will not see that at the start line at the 100-meter finals, it's all black people there. So I'm saying, yes, it's always like that. Very few times, even though you have an Italian there, still a blackish looking person. I'm saying very few times you will see a black person at the start line at in a swimming competition. There are some sports that a different race will be dominant in. Always look at ping pong. You probably will never see you'll probably never see a black person there. You'll see an Asian or a white. It's just that some sports you have different people dominating those. You are muted. Thank you. So, okay, I probably could jump to the front here. Yes, he said America shouldn't have no problem with color unless they want to exit, because they have immigration and border crossing every single day. America is, as they say, a melting pot. They will always be the problems, but they won't they won't change anything. There room for Adidas and Puma. Jamaica should take that offer. They definitely. This my video, Kishane through it. Well, as I said, third race for Kishane Thompson. I think he did well. Second man for Jamaica to get a silver medal. Could have been the second to get a gold. Young athlete, barely just turned 23. Third time representing the country. He only ran 4 races for Jamaica right now to date, and he has a silver medal. We'll take it, man. We'll take it. I wouldn't say that he threw the race. I wouldn't say that he choked. I think he could have performed better, but it's not just a physical thing. It's mental. The pressure is the pressure is unreal, PR, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment, guys. Remember, if you haven't subscribed or if you haven't liked the live, please do. At the moment, let's see, we have 95 people, 37 likes. I do appreciate all the interaction, but guys, if you could like that live, I would truly appreciate that for sure. So PR is saying Noah posted is COVID free. He never had it to begin with. Just an excuse for coming third. I don't even know why he post that. You should have keep it until this week to post it. You should have keep it. PR is also say Jamaica need a new technical director for World Championship and Olympic. Same mistakes being made. Look, Lion King. The driving through the finish line thing. You mentioned why I said that. Yeah, you're right. I believe they need, even if they have coaches that is just good with getting the start right, coaches who are good with the drive phase, they need coaches who are good with the finishing. And I think the finishing is also a mental thing. Every aspect of the race is mental. And again, even the interview would have showed that Kishane understood that there are tactical errors to be made, and he made some, and he will be looking to do better next time around. I believe that he will do better going forward, but it wouldn't have been the same if he did not get to see what it is like making those mistakes real time and see what the consequences are. You missed out on an Olympic gold medal that only comes twice per decade. Every 4 years, 2 times in every 10 years. Kathy is saying Jamaica used to have YMCA center before for training. Yes, they did. I think they probably still have it, but it probably wouldn't be enough to bring to. You could use it for leisure, for training, but get into that Olympic level, that Olympic shape. I think it would be good for them to have a center where they also would have elite coaches in that. They should have you see, the same way how you have an Olympic village. After 20 years of dominance, doing great, having the face of the sport for such a long time, they should have been able to listen. Even regular people building five-story houses, small people with little vision building huge houses and pools. Jamaica could get a piece of land and build an Olympic village and have a good track. And it's just that the vision, they would really need it. They have to need it before they can do it. Guys, please remember to like the live. It's 38 people who liked it, and we have 90 people here. Truly appreciate it. All it does is help with the growth of the channel. That's all it does, really. It doesn't pay me or anything. Just help with the growth of the channel. So if you could just hit that like button, I truly appreciate it. We're still on that journey to 10,000. We're still aiming. I'm coming live as frequently as I can, discussion, and we could also pivot at some point to depending on the interest of the people. Almost man is saying Russian coach made a suggestion to Gymnastic Association to change the rules because Simone Biles is not winning gymnastics, but she is winning for the difficult moves. She said gymnastic is graceful. Oh wow. You see what I mean? And this is a world power. You see, if it was Jamaica, if it was somebody else who tied for that medal, if it was a world power that tied with Noah, that would have never been a single gold medal. It would have been 2 gold. Russia right now highlighting that it's only the difficulty, because it is true. It's that she's spinning so fast and landing. She's landing better than others and she's getting the gold medal. The only thing is that even with the difficulty, the girl from Brazil is better than her, literally causing her to be stressed out. So they're gonna still mark because it's people judging it. It's not a automatic thing like how you'd go across a finish line. It's people still just judging it. And you know that when they are judging, they still could have preferences or they could still have a mandate that they would have to stick with. So you see, this is a world power fighting for a cause there. And you never know how this could work out. Kimberly is saying, all we are going, the coaches are to be blamed about lying about their athletes' fitness and not releasing athletes to compete on relays for world relays. Well, as I said before, if they have a cohesive environment somewhere that would be like a central village, because you'll have a camp who would be pushing athletes into this. You'd have different camps, but they would have to have a middle ground in Jamaica. The coaches, if one coach have too much power, then Jamaica will fail. Because if that one coach decide to sabotage, then look at what would happen. You take out the elite athletes, because let's say, for example, Glenn Mills decide that, you know what, my elite athlete will not be going there. No oblique civil. And let's say Coach Francis decide that my elite athletes will not be going. No Sharika, no Elaine, no Sharika, no Kishe, no Tia, whatever the case is. Jamaica would struggle. Jamaica would be sending athletes. They probably would still get the qualifying time, but it would not be the experienced athletes even if they are not experienced on the ground, they are getting the experience from a coach who have 50 years experience. So I do believe, that's why I was saying earlier, we cannot afford to have tribal knowledge in Jamaica where track and field is concerned, because if these two coaches exit the building, what happens next? J-Boy, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. Too much criticism. Jamaica track and field will be roaring back. You know what? I agree. There's a lot of criticism, but you know what? Just thinking critically is criticism. If you were to just accept everything, you'll never change. Even the Jamaica Association, Olympics or Athletics Administrative Association, they'll be doing some criticism right now. It's called brainstorming as well. It's just that I am doing it here in a way that it may seem distasteful. Like, how do you talk about something that you cannot do? I don't think Coach Francis can run 10. I don't think Coach Francis can run. I don't know. I know he can't run as fast as Kishane, but he can criticize Kishane. For sure. I'm not saying I'm Coach Francis, just saying. That's an example. Lion King is saying, how many times Jamaicans ran third after looking like assured winner up to 10 meters from the line, even a softer? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because they're used to it. They get so used to shutting down. They get so used to shutting down and it just bringing them across the line. But I've seen where the US athletes from Noah Lyles to Sydney to Gabby Thomas, they don't shut down at all. Never shut down. They believe that they can catch you. They always believe they can catch you. And the Jamaican athlete believes that you cannot catch them after they run too far ahead. And it really does affect us. Katsy is saying, you notice from they start talking about driving every race. After that, I saw everyone was driving to win. Not everyone runs. So you're saying driving every race? Not sure what that means. Not sure at all. Lion King is saying judging goes in favor of the more dominant power. That's without a doubt. The influence that comes into it before the race even starts. This country might have had, it's just the fact that they're a coalition. This is an alliance. You know, it kind of goes with the territory. It might seem like, all right, you're just saying that because you are disgruntled about losing, but it really comes with the territory. My friend child will get the favor over your friend child. You know, it's just the way it goes. If I'm the judge, some bias is there. I know it. I'm giving my friend this win, but I'm going to give it through his child. PR is saying, I hope Kishane double next year World Championship. would be nice. It's good entertainment value, but I hope his body would be good enough to do it, because from what we understand is that his body, you know. But we have seen the same with Elaine. Elaine was injury prone and she doubled and she's undefeated at the Olympics. We saw, in the first time Usain Bolt went to the Olympics, he didn't even make the finals. A lot of people think that Usain only went to 3 Olympics, but he went to 4. He didn't even make the finals. He started out running 400 and 200 meters. Failed. Everybody thought he was just big disappointment. And the rest is history. Undefeated after the next, in the 100 and the 200. He was defeated in the 200 because he was up against like the likes of Tyson Gay and those guys at the first Olympics. But after that, undefeated. Almost man, gone. People, peace out. Going to train now with Tibogo to run now and next Olympics. I respect Almost man. Appreciate all interaction. Absolutely. Enjoy you being here. One of these days, you and I will be talking about some of the Israel stuff and world stuff, because I do follow those things to a T as well. It's just sometimes the pivot is kind of difficult. PR. J3 and JOA need a revamp too. Too many relics making decisions, and too many of those relics, they continue to get their relevance from athletes being successful. Unsuccessful Olympics will shine the light on these relics. And as a result, you'll see them starting to rust, decay, and fade away. So we can probably expect them to die a slow death, maybe self-inflicted wounds. Some of it will be self-inflicted wounds, because people who are in power, it's not easily removed from power. They usually get forced out based on their own action. Sometimes they would be the ones to fire themselves because they think that they cannot. Just like how Jamaica forced themselves to lose, they will be the ones to fire themselves as well. I did have a question similar to that one. How will J3 and JOA respond to the continued backlash? How will they respond? Because the public sees what's happening. The staff would have seen what is happening. The athletes and the coaches clearly is not in unison with the J3 and the JOA. How will this affect them? Or will they continue to hold on to their jobs the same way how they would have been holding on to their jobs before? I believe they will be failing going forward. The reason why we failed at this Olympics and their relevance is tied to the success of the World Championship and Olympics. The Jamaica team, the athletes, they are the ones who usually secure the job for the administrators. And with administrators failing, because look at it, when you saw the field event being the more dominant of the two side of track and field, the track event, they were subpar. The field event, they were doing really, really good, right? When you saw that happening, it means that they are forced in a conversation now. They're going to be asking for what they want. With hammer throw athlete Dan Nayoka Clunes getting, with Nayoka Clunes failing to get an opportunity to represent at the Olympics, right? Because they did not put her name on the list. What does that suggest? It suggests that they didn't care, or maybe they didn't believe that the field would be as relevant. It's either they don't care about these athletes going there because they don't believe they would medal, or they just are pretty bad at their job. Now, the field athletes, they went there, they got gold medal, they got silver medal, they got bronze medal. Nayoka Clunes could literally say that I would have medaled. They're going to be like, how would you know? She would say, I would have medaled. And they cannot say otherwise. So their blunder and their continued blunder will give the field athletes a voice. Now the track athletes, they probably already have a voice. It really depends on whether or not they want to push it in their direction. Now we cannot say all this without saying that Elaine Thompson-Era not making it to the Olympics would have been a problem, because she's defending champion. We saw where she defended we saw where she defended the 100 and 200 meter before, and she would have had an opportunity should she had gone there this time around, so that would have weakened the squad. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce only ran one race. Very good time. Then she backed out. That would have created some problems as well, causing us probably a medal. Shericka Jackson looked like she didn't even train when she got there. Another reason for us to not get medals in an event that we probably could have medaled in. Oblique Seville, he said he picked up an injury, but I don't know, because all the way up onto 10 meters from the line, he was winning until he was not. It's a lot of things with the athletes hitting hurdles, and with athletes like Nikisha Price. I don't know what happened there. So many things that went against the track athletes, so many that went against the field athletes. And even when they described the accommodation, it didn't look like they had the best accommodation. It could play an impact. It could play a part in the subpar performance that we saw. Talking about athletes going to the Olympics and bringing back 4 medals, 6 medals, and stuff like that. One would say that, it's good compared to the past, but in the past, I don't believe you'd have brought 60 and 70 athletes to the Olympics. It could be where you brought back 6 medals and you brought only 40 athletes or 30 athletes. So Jamaica, in my opinion, they took a step backward. And it's not because the athletes took a step backward. It's because the organization relaxed a little bit, because they believe the athletes, you got this. It's the world stage. You always do well. Go out there and protect our jobs. As a result, we saw what we saw from them in this one. We saw what we saw based on all that happened. Now, going forward, they can only pick up the pieces from here because of this, because they saw failure. They know what it looked like. They know what it feels like. If they didn't experience failure, then they would have had their heads in the cloud continuously. Originally, I created a poll here. It responded, 160 people responded to it. Does racism exist in Jamaica? And contrary to what we had been saying, 71% of the respondents believe that racism does exist in Jamaica. And only 20% believe that it does not exist in Jamaica. So again, it really comes down to perspective. And guys, please remember to like the live. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps the channel grow. Liking doesn't really equate to paying any kind of money or anything. It really just helps with the channel growth. And I'm hoping to grow this channel a little bit. We have been 2 hours and 22 minutes in. We'll wrap this up here. If you guys have any final comments, if you ever want to open, I could open the line at some point. Somebody would have their say. Truly appreciate all interaction, and if the topic makes sense, remember, like the live. If it makes sense, if you like the topic, if you like, there's anything that you like about what happened here today, please support. Really appreciate it. And we'll be wrapping it up here. I touched on several questions. I'll run through them real quick again. The first one was, how would you rate the Olympics this time around? How would you rate it from 1 to 10? In my perspective, it's a 5, half and half. At least they gained experience, and then we lost in the Olympics, but we gained the experience with a young group of athletes, and we saw what failure looked like. We know that we cannot depend on just the superstars, because if they're not in the race, then what happens, right? So that's the experience that we got from this. Do you think the athletes use social media? Do you think that athletes' use of social media contributed positively or negatively to their Olympic experience? In my opinion, it's also a 50-50, because they were able to record important moments for themselves, talk real time with fans and family, but they would have also had an opportunity to develop their brand, their social status in the world, and that will generate income in years to come, even in the present. So it is 50-50, but the distraction could have came in, and it might have came in, Therefore, they may not have had their best performance due to it. But going forward, if they regulate it the right way, if they have some form of self-control and discipline, nobody would have to even regulate it for them. You'll probably see good results from them, because even Messiah, the 100-meter hurdle winner, she did a very good job. She won the Olympics, and she has a YouTube channel that she had been managing the entire time. So with hundreds of fans, one of the Olympic gymnasts from the USA, he has 200,000 plus supporters on YouTube, and he's managing his YouTube channel while being a part of the Olympics. So it's a double-edged sword. It's just that they need to learn the same way how you would learn to develop your emotional intelligence. We're in the era of social media. Therefore, they might need to go through some social media remediation class, which help them to understand it better. Katsi is saying, who is against someone race? Because that's what it means to me. So being racist, it means that you're against someone race. Andrew Senior TV, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment. He's saying, I have shared this great teleclass on my channel. Appreciate you doing that, Andrew. Really do. Truly do. Really do. The other topic I did touch on was, how should social media be used in track and field? As I said with Messiah, she had Wendy is saying, I rate Olympics 10. I loved it. Oh, Wendy, are you American? Did America win all the medals and Jamaica didn't win any? I could see why. All right, so yeah, so I was saying that, how should social media be used in track and field? I think it should be incorporated in track and field, because the athletes love the fans. They want to see the human side of the fans. They want to be able to interact with them, ask them questions, just learn their personality. As a result, they will get to be to connect with the fans even more, and the fans will get to connect with their favorite athletes more. So it should be used in track and field as a way to build their social presence online, but also there should be some limit around the competition time. And then after that, they could come back and they could literally tell us about it, give us a vlog, whatever the case is. But there should be some kind of regulation, as Naomi said. I asked the question, could the overwhelming number of challenges faced by the athletes affect them emotionally or mentally? I believe it affected them in both ways. Emotionally, as you could see on the screen there, one lady crying and the other one embracing her. This is emotions at the highest level. This is where your two friends could have been birthed. You'd probably find these two people being friends forever. They shared a moment that can never be unshared. They failed together, and then when the time comes, they will succeed together. Therefore, this will affect them emotionally, but being affected emotionally doesn't mean you're affected negatively, because happiness is an emotion. Being affected mental doesn't mean it affects you negatively, because when you lose, no, you give yourself a reason never to lose again. Noah Lyles, who became the face of track and field, he finished third in the 200 meter at the 2021 Olympics, and he vowed to himself it won't happen again, and he did all he could, because mentally it affected him. He got the therapist, he got the help, and it pushed him to a point where he wanted to do better. Finished third again behind Kenny Benerick. It didn't mean much, but he did much better in the 100 meter. So it will affect them physically. It did affect them physically. That's how they have been training. But emotionally and mentally, the effects will be there as well. I think it had been there and it will be there. Who will Jamaica this should have been how. How will Jamaica continue? Let me even fix it just so. Can I fix it? Yeah, whatever. How will Jamaica continue their excellent track record after Coach Francis and Glenn Mill time has passed? I don't know. Remember, guys, touch that like button if you haven't done so, please. How will they continue? I don't know how they will, but I do believe that they'll need to start thinking about the future. They will need to think about the future. When they say, yes, some people on social media definitely could be nicer and respectful. Kill the fun, but hey, to each their own, I'm sure could improve too. Yeah, man. Over time, these athletes will be professional now, because if they're professional on the track, they will be professional in all aspects. It just takes practice. Last question was, How will the J3 and the JOA respond to the backlash? It would be for us to see as the time goes on, because the backlash is many and it comes after the fact. A failed attempt at the Olympic Games would reflect highly on the administrators. Now they will have to defend themselves. They will have to do something now to prove that they are worthy of the job, you know. And if they are not proving that they are worthy of the job, then they would have to exit and give somebody else the job. Manhattan, Manhattan, Broch. Manhattan Barch. Welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. Quincy All won the 400 meter with heart and determination. Hey, that was literally like, I don't, he lost his farm. He just used pure heart, and that's true. No farm at the end, but it was a good run. I believe that he will have a lot of problems from Matthew Hudson going forward, because even in that 4x4, where Matthew Hudson ran, I think, the second leg for Great Britain, it was the fastest leg until they readjusted it, and then Tobago ended up having the fastest leg, but should be good going forward. I believe that there are some good clashes. But let's say, for example, Leslie decide to run the 400 meter. Do you see Leslie Tobago getting into that realm of a 400 meter, like a favorite, with that split that we saw from Leslie? Could create some problems for Quincy Hall, Matthew Hudson, all these strong athletes, the Grenadian, and some of the time I just don't remember these athletes' name, but can't say the only thing, let's say, only social media is only what I want to see of interest. There you go. These athletes really just need to figure out how to put information out and don't allow information in. That would be interesting for them to do something like that. You push information out. That's it. You have some things written in a book. You look at those. After that, then you go and you look and say, really, at this time did I say, boy, them people are not easy, But seeing it real time, hey, when I remember watching that race, the 100 meters, where Noah won the race, and then all this emotion building up, all this enthusiasm over the weeks, and then it just crashed the way how it did. But I was tired for maybe 3 days. So you can imagine these athletes listening and hearing some bad information, how bad it would feel for them for a while. When they said, it's been fun as usual, my time is up. Later, everyone. Thank you as all. Thank you all. Appreciate you, Wendy. Appreciate everybody who had been here. 2 hours, 30 minutes came up. My time is also up. I just wanted to do a quick recap. For those people who haven't touched that like button, remember, like. If you haven't subscribed yet, remember to subscribe. All interactions appreciated. Appreciate all you guys. I'll be back tomorrow again with a different topic, and I'll find one. And then I'll be here. If you are here, appreciate you. Lion King, you're saying that could Junelle have COVID and be told to keep quiet to avoid further backlash to Noah? Wouldn't be surprising. Or could it be where, let's say, for example, the story is that the Jamaicans were the first to get COVID, and then she's in the Noah camp. She's in the Jamaica camp and bringing COVID back to Noah, or Noah have it and he brought it over. Nikisha Price having COVID, based on what I heard, could have came from somewhere else. We didn't really compete for a 400 meter medal there. A lot can be said, a lot will be said. It's just a pity how this turned out, but I believe that they will be building character from such a defeat. And for some of them, it's total victory when doing their best. There are a lot of people who had a personal best, season best, lots of best going on for various athletes. Good Olympics for some, poor for some. But as always, guys, remember, rewrite the narrative. Like, share, subscribe.